Welcome back to Thursday's Daily Rundown with me, Dan Morfitt. Ian and Drew are still here, ready for more of the stories of the day?
Yes, we're not whiffing too badly so far.
It smells beautiful in here. Honestly, you're lucky watching at home. You can't smell it. Right, press 1 for ISIS. The UK government is to spend £1 million on polling British Muslims on extremism. A report by BuzzFeed News has revealed that the Home Office plans to commission a series of telephone polls. They will survey British Muslims' attitudes towards extremist ideas and ideologies, and ministers hope that the polls will not only measure existing views by allowing them to track effectiveness of counter-extremism initiatives. Muslim leaders have voiced concerns that the poll just reinforces the notion that the Muslim community is suspect. Now, press 2 for full interrogation into British society. Now, this surely is a dumb idea, isn't it? A phone poll of British Muslims. If I was Muslim and I got a phone call going, "Hi, I'm from the UK government, we're doing a poll of British Muslims," the first thing is, how did you get my number? How do you know I'm Muslim?
Are you a terrorist? You know, it's like...
This sounds like another Not the 9 o'clock news sketch.
You worry about polls because you can push question them and you can make them have the result you want.
Yeah.
So if you want it to come out as they all hate us and they want to overthrow us and install a caliphate, you probably could push the questions and then tweak the numbers and how you represent them to say just that.
Statistics are there to be used, abused and twisted, aren't they?
Totally.
It's not just, I mean, statistics, I used to work in data analysis. Actual raw data is fine, and it's how you make the questions that you can is the worrying thing.
This takes me back to like sociology modules at university with quantitative and qualitative research. Anything like this would happen, they would say the sample size isn't big enough, the questions would never be answered truthfully, and like you said, how you ask the questions.
I don't think £1 million is enough to do it properly, because you need if you're going to question Muslims, why not question other religions, atheists, non-religious, just random people you phone, and don't ask them what their religion is and ask them what they think of these things. I think £1 million is probably not enough money to do it properly if you want to get a nice, detailed result.
And that thing of the Muslim community being suspects because they're getting asked.
It's so insulting, isn't it?
It's like going back and asking, we're going to ring up some Irish people.
Yeah.
Surely, it's exactly the same.
It is. Or ring up the Scots and find out how mean they are. It's just nonsense. It's stereotyping at its worst. And as you say, why would you answer honestly? Why would you answer at all? I mean, it's not compulsory that they answer these questions, is it?
People quite often lie.
Can they put the phone down on them? Is it going to be a law?
If they ask a question about sex, then you're never going to get the right. You're never going to get a true answer.
You just got to get lies, positive or negative.
12 inches.
It's like handy stats for some official to have should they need to manipulate it in some way to justify their actions.
Or even worse, they'll actually believe they're doing something, they'll act upon them, and it'll backfire.
What I don't understand about this as well, and the news stories come out today, Ramadan only started the other day. It's a holy month for Muslims and people who practice Islam. I know what it's like for them. They're fasting throughout the day. They're only eating when sundown comes, and then they have to wake up early before sunrise just to get enough food in them to get the energy for the day. If a Muslim is getting a phone call at 5 o'clock in the afternoon after a hard day at work, they are going to be narky as heck, and I would not blame them. Could you imagine having a phone call just go, "Yes, we're just ringing up to see how extremist your views are and if you're integrated into British society."
95% of the Muslim population would happily kill telemarketers.
Yes, but I think...
just the Muslim population.
Yeah. I think 95% of the population would kill all telemarketers. The other 5% are the telemarketers.
Do we know what happens then if they just decide, I'm not taking part, and put the phone down? Because that's what I would recommend everybody does.
It has to be logged as something, but what's it logged as?
Apparently if you stay on the line, all these questionnaire people, they have to have you on the line for 3 seconds. That's why, you know, when they phone up, there's a pause. Yeah, and then by the time they ramble into what's going on, you realise this is hang up. As long as they have you on the line for 3 seconds, that's seen as a tick, that's seen as a successful call.
Well, maybe as Ian says, as soon as they pick up the phone, if they put it down, that might be marked as definite extremist.
Yeah, you don't know what they could be doing.
Doesn't like modern technology. Must be something wrong with them.
Yep.
The caliphate is here. Where is it? oh, Bromsgrove. It's the most stupid idea, and I don't know why they've had to go.
What a waste of money.
£1 million.
I mean, my God, what the government could do with that money, we could spend that in far more productive ways than that.
Surely £1 million could have been used to foster better relations between Muslims and everybody else, like our party.
You'd think. Let's all join in one long conga line down the Thames.
It's Ramadan, doesn't mean Eid's coming up. We could have one hell of a party.
Yeah, that would be a good party. I think all the stories on tonight's Daily Rundown are nice and light, aren't they?
Light and frothy, yes. Yeah, what are we going to do now?
If you're watching
genocide.
If you're watching the repeat in the morning, please, honestly, go and grab yourself a brew, because this one is a doozy. It's the last story.
And an antidepressant.
No, you don't need that. A brew can clear most of that up.
Nice cup of tea.
Nice cup of tea. Right, our last story for now is Sadiq Khan has been accused of reneging on his flagship election promise that London commuters would not pay a penny more in transport fares. This comes after Mr Khan revealed on Wednesday that his pledge to freeze fares would only cover single and pay-as-you-go fares. Travel cards, daily caps on oysters and contactless card fares will not be covered. This means that hundreds of thousands of passengers are likely to see their fares increase alongside with inflation. Speaking at a weekly meeting at the London Assembly, Mr Khan said that Transport for London would have to reimburse the Department of Transport for any lost revenue if all fares were frozen, as he had promised. So, politicians going back on a promise. Should we expect anything else, really?
What a sneaky wee man.
Son of a bus driver as well.
Son of a bus driver from Putney,
you never believe a word that comes out of any of these people's mouths, because he pitched it a way. They made it seem like there's going to be one outcome, and of course he found the little, small print beneath to say. He can't honestly say he's gone back on what he said. He just didn't elaborate fully enough on what he was actually going to do, and that's where they went. They're so sneaky like that.
So he didn't lie. He just didn't tell the complete truth.
He didn't tell the complete truth. No, I mean, yes, some commuters are going to, Londoners will be paying less, but the majority will not, because I think it's because of Oyster cards, which over time are a cheaper thing to have anyway. They are not included in this low fare deal.
This is a politician going back on a promise.
Well, what do you expect? He does say that he's going to the DFT and he's going to try and get them to come along with his scheme and write it down, but if the Department of Transport can do that for London, they should do it for the rest of us.
That's what I was going to say. As a bitter northerner, the amount of money spent per head on the Londoner for transport, buses, tubes, Crossrail, that silly little swing bridge cable car thing that goes...
That apparently no one uses.
That nobody uses at all. They get a lot of money spent on them. So if they get price freezes, surely up here, back in the provinces, we should be able to get.
We don't have
price
them there
freezes.
yet.
We don't have anything that works. Our system's broken down. It's all holes and rebuilding and stuff. Nothing's moving in this city anymore because it's all been built up.
Is there a part of us that can almost point a finger and laugh at London and go, "Well, you vote for it, you get it, ha ha."
Yeah, but I was doing that before the London mayoral election. I was probably doing that before Boris was the mayor. It's London. If you're not in London, you mock London.
As the role of Mayor of London then, Dick Whittington, Sadiq Khan, is he damned if he does, damned if he doesn't?
It's not a good start.
They're going to find fault with whatever he does. Possibly, don't know how he's going to fare, whether he's going to fare any better than Boris. Apparently Boris just ignored everything anyway.
Does this then question the need to bring in the mayors in Manchester, in the Midlands, into the Cotswolds, into the major cities of the South Coast? What's the point of a London mayor, or a mayor anywhere, if all we do is bitch about them and moan about them?
You get the feeling that for the Greater Manchester mayor and things like that, that's a little bit of setting us up to fail. The Greater Manchester mayor won't magically have more money to spend. He'll have the same budget cuts as the whole of Greater Manchester is currently suffering, but it'll be another buffer zone between the people of Manchester and the government. The government will be able to go, look, it's the mayor's fault. He hasn't delivered, despite the fact that the mayor's doing the best he can with what he's been budgeted by the government. And also the government will be telling him to hit certain targets. And them them. Could be a woman. Could be Wendy. Because we're probably standing a green for the even though the Green,
you had to get a bit
even though the Green
you?
Party does not believe in the concept of a Greater Manchester Mayor, we will probably be standing somebody for it.
Oh, Ian, your opinions, I love them. So it's that thing of they get the power, they get the responsibility, but they don't necessarily get the money that could help them.
Well, they don't necessarily get the power. They might not have the control that the image suggests.
They get to go to lots of lovely events.
They get to eat sandwiches with curled up ends.
Yeah.
It's one of those things then with Sadiq Khan, he's already gone on against one promise, and I don't think he's even been in the job yet for a month, has he?
Yeah, not really, no. It's like just a very, very bad start. He's going to have to do something major, pull something out the bag.
Right, I think
to address that already.
It's a shame. He's got to run all the Russian oligarchs out and give their houses to poor people.
Well, it is a shame that Sadiq Khan doesn't watch this show. It's a different TV network down in London. But Sadiq, honestly, watch the Daily Rundown and we could solve your problems for you.
We're on YouTube.
Yeah, we're on YouTube, Sadiq. Right, that's all we have time for in this part of the show. Next, Ian and Drew will be taking over the show to voice a passion or a cause that they think that needs the spotlights. They both have their something to say. You're watching the Daily Rundown. We'll be back in a bit.